to Bucharest. It's the final game in this year's IRB Nations Cup. Romania, the hosts, up against Argentina Jaguars. Myself, Martin Gillingham, alongside me, Jamie Salmon. Romania, in all honesty, they've been a bit disappointing so far, haven't they? They beat Namibia in the opening game, 13-11, but then lost to the Eastern Province Kings by 27 points to 23. You expecting a bit more from them today?
They certainly want to finish with a flourish. I mean, I would say they've done a bit better than you might suggest, to be honest with you. The Namibia and South Africa Kings is the toughest part of the draw, I would say. Namibia won it last year. South African Kings have obviously got a number of players with good experience. Romania's back play has always been the question mark. They've always had a good set of forwards. And against the Jaguars, who are somewhat depleted tonight, because the Argentinians aren't shy in forward play either, it could be a pretty good contest up front, and certainly the Jaguars, having lost both, would be desperately keen to get a win on this trip.
Yes, if you're not familiar with international rugby, or certainly not Romanian rugby, I guess you can draw one or two parallels between the way Romania play their rugby in Italy. Powerful up front, some big physical forwards, but maybe a bit sparse with the ideas in the back line. Their fly half today, Julian Dumitras, who has experience of playing in the French top 14 for Albi, but he's now playing in the lower leagues for Lourdes. That's a scrum half for the Jaguars. Landayo.
I like the start, Martin. I like the fact that Argentina Jaguars looking to run the ball all over the place. Here comes the kick now, but everybody's got involved in the game. Everybody's had a touch, so it augurs well.
This is the fullback, Florian Flaicu, who plays for the Bucharesti club, who will be playing in European club competition next season in the Challenge Cup. They will be the Romanian representatives, and well, that was almost an interception, wasn't it?
Well, again, encouraging to see Romania trying to get the ball down the back line early on. First time they've got the ball, and Morales was the man coming in. Deliberate knock-on deemed by the referee. So the first chance for Romania, and he had to come in, Morales, because there was an overlap on this side for Romania.
Yes, Jerome Garces is the referee, who will be going to the World Cup in September, not as a referee, although he will be a reserve referee, but primarily as an assistant. The French representative will be Romain Poit. If you consider the likelihood of who might make the final, there's a fair chance Romain Poit might even end up refereeing the World Cup final.
Interesting shout. Yeah, no.
So there are one or two candidates, but if we're talking about a Southern Hemisphere final, I'm maybe getting ahead of myself. There'll be one or two followers of English rugby who will certainly disagree with that. And that's a decent strike from Valentin Calafetianu, getting the start today at 9. Just falling short that time, but a reasonable attempt. The Jaguars, who are mostly made up of what are effectively semi-pro rugby players, really. The depth of talents, as we look there at Romeo Contignac, himself a former Romania international, played in the centre, the veteran of 4 World Cup campaigns, in fact. So Santiago Iglesias prepares for the restart. So we've been going for a little more than 10 minutes at the National Stadium in Bucharest, still waiting for the first points. The loose head there for Argentina, a fellow called Gaston de Robertis, who was on the staff at Leicester for a brief period this last season. Really as medical backup for Boris Stankovic, who picked up an injury early on in the Premiership season. Didn't really make much of an impact. There it is for the scrum half. Back to Dumitras. Route 1 taken, and that's very comfortable for the full-back, Joaquin Tukele. Here he is, the youngster. Just 21, but that not such a good kick. Well read by the Romanian defence. Oh, and it's fumble forward. Referee playing advantage here, though, to Argentina. Hasn't gone forward. Scooped back there by the fly half Iglesias. There it is for Tomás de la Vega. The tackle from Cristian Petra, who's the captain today for Romania in the absence of Marius Tinku, who was injured in the game against the EP Kings. Jaguars, who have yet to record a victory in this competition. They lost their first game against Portugal 25-21 and then lost out to Georgia by a single point, but it's spilled forward, so a knock-on off an Argentina hand.
Well, at least it was a good passage of play from the Argentinians. Certainly went through a number of phases. Ball retention was good, contact area work was good. Alas, the hands let them down eventually. Could take a while for each other to work each other out, really. They have spread the ball wide, though, so they should be able to work out what defensive patterns each team is working. Tukale and Vlaicu, the respective full-backs, have not really been tested under a big bomb or anything like that. Scrummages looked pretty even. Romania holding their own against the Argentinians. We know the Argentinians, any Argentinian forward pack will love to hear the words scrum down. Doesn't matter whose ball it is, often the case. The Argentinians will still have a good go.
And Jamie, you've played rugby against the Romanians. Not a bad CV, is it? Former All Black, former England international. How do you compare the quality of international rugby in Romania today with a bit of an ugly expression, but back in your day?
Well, they were certainly very competitive up front, without question. The problem was their handling has just been suitably shown. As the referee plays a bit of advantage, which he may well carry on playing advantage, actually, because Morales has had a good run, but he's coming back. No, he's not. Coming back for a penalty.
Failing to release it in the tackle there, Roman Mirages, who played for Castra in the top 14. Didn't get many runs in the first team, but he has played a lot of his rugby at full-back. That is Xaba Gal. 34 caps to his name, so an experienced international. He had 3 starts at the World Cup 4 years ago, did Gal, but, well...
Just going back to your point about the growth of Romanian rugby, the more experience these guys can get overseas in France and in the UK. There are a number of players applying their trade in France and the UK. Certainly Tunita, the open side flanker. Eon, the prop, is at, or was at London Irish, I think he still is.
Played at Bath as well, didn't
he? He did prior to that. So there are a number. You remember Tinku, the hooker, if you recall.
Perpignan. Only had about 4 starts this season, but he really has been a mainstay at Perpignan for a number of seasons.
Yeah. So they need more players, especially in the back line, to experience that. You know, the players we've mentioned have all been forwards, typically. They need more backs to get that experience in France and elsewhere. So
this is Santiago Iglesias, as you'd expect of an Argentine, a great footballing nation. Slops the opening 3 points of the game. So the Argentina Jaguars looking for their first victory in this Nations Cup in the final match of the tournament. So it's Romania 0, Argentina 3. Argentina Jaguars 3, Romania 0.
Update your Nintendo 3DS for free. Browse the web with the internet browser or access Nintendo eShop. Download 3D Classics Excitebike. Try original 3DS download software like the free Pokédex 3D. Or relive classic Virtual Console video games. Only on Nintendo 3DS.
Tackling the Baby Blacks and other daunting challenges. World Rugby's rising talent take it head on and front up in Italy. IRB Junior World Championships semi-finals, Wednesday, live on Eurosport 2.
Approaching the end of the first quarter, just one penalty to show for it. from the Argentina Jaguars fly-half, Santiago Iglesias, who turned 23 on Wednesday, so celebrating a birthday. But the Jaguars will be mindful that they want to go home to Buenos Aires with some points, or some league points here, having suffered those 2 defeats, narrow as they were, by 4 points to Portugal and a single point to Georgia. But it's a penalty, or a free kick in fact, to the Romanians. Quickly taken by the scrum half, Calafatiano. That's for Pericu to chase. Oh, and he almost got there. Well, that was quick thinking. Chance, though, perhaps to counter here for the Argentines. Some good stepping there from Alessandro Lopez. Advantage, though, being played to Romania. It was a knock-on off an Argentine hand. There's Calafatiano. Big hit coming in from Tomás de la Vega. And the Argentina defence there just trying to drive Romania off the ball. But I think the hosts have secured it. Taken on by Ovidio Tonita. There is Tonita. A decade playing at the top level in France, initially for Biarritz, now the last 7 seasons for Perpignan, the former French champions. The ball pops out, little hack forward. Here's a chance. That's Mirages again. Testing time for the Romanian defence, and they haven't secured it, or maybe they have now. That was Madin Lemnaru.
Well, desperate defence by the Romanians, deep in their 22, right by their try line. And this is the problem. Petra has got to walk all the way back, and the rest of his forwards, because they lost the ball in a tackle situation, and off they went, the Argentinians. Lemonaru did actually pretty well, but he just knocked it forward there, because Rosati, the centre for Argentina, was pretty much on his own. And Lemnaru was not enamoured by the fact that he knocked it forward, but he did. It's the right decision by the referee.
It's at that level a fairly basic skill, isn't it? Falling on the ball and getting back onto your feet in one movement. I think that's perhaps why Lemnaru was a little bit angry with himself.
I'm not sure if this is a unofficial or official water break. We've had them in the, but it doesn't look the most coordinated of water breaks, but perhaps it is. It obviously is. If I was the Jaguars, I'd want that scrum done pretty quickly.
And you see Marius Tinku right in the thick of it there. Christian Petra is the captain for the day, but Marius Tinku, who will be part of that squad to go to the World Cup and captain the side in the first 2 matches in this tournament, was in the thick of that melee for the water break, offering his own advice. Yeah, I think Tinku had 1 or 2 injury problems this season. Got himself shunted down the order a little bit at Perpignan, down to about the number 3 hooker. But there is Landajo. Ball being spread wide, and again it's lost forward. Chance here to counter for the Romanians. That's Catalin Fercu. And that kick right off the outside of the boot. This is the fullback, Tukale, an attempt at a drop from 45 metres, and he's caught it very well indeed. And Argentina double their advantage. Well, that's the sort of thing you dream about as a fullback, isn't it?
Oh, hit it flush, absolutely. It certainly wasn't De La Vega, the number 6, I can assure you of that. But this is the fullback, Tuchel, as you're rightly saying. He's absolutely got that plumb out of the middle, and also put it miles through the sticks. That's another 20 metres of carry probably on it.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. I think that probably had a good 60, 65 metres of carry, didn't it?
But Romania didn't help themselves by the sliced clearing kick.
Well, the ball's been lost forward by Argentina. That's for Kusaba. Gal breaking through the defence. He's got 1 man to beat. And the fullback who slotted the drop goal has now saved his side 5 points, but the danger not gone. That's Florin Flaicu. If they can get quick ball here, Romania, which they haven't done, And the Jaguars have a chance here to reorganise their defence. Referee playing advantage, though. Argentina have come offside, and once again we start talking about, did that deserve a yellow card? Because that was clearly what is a so-called professional infringement. Referee still playing advantage here for Romania. There it is for Califatianu. Gal. Oh, he had two men on his outside. Just a couple of metres to go, but Jerome Garces is going to come back for the penalty.
Should have passed it, Gal, shouldn't he? Should have passed it. Should have been quick hands. Take it early, give it straight away. There should have been men, but there were two men outside him, and they should have been screaming for it because they were in. Long passage of play, physical passage of play. A couple of Romanians struggling to get up. To be fair to the Argentinian side, showed great character and defence, made their tackles. A little bit of licence in terms of where they positioned themselves, but 3 points is better than 7. And the French referees and European referees are a lot more lenient on the professional foul scenario that you referred to a moment or two ago, I would argue.
Well, we certainly saw that with Pascal Gauzet, didn't we? With the early game involving the Eastern Province Kings, where there were two such offences committed in a matter of minutes by the same player. So the scrum half, Valentin Califatianu, getting a start today. Didn't start against the Kings. Can he narrow the gap to 3? Oh, just catching, first of all, the right hand upright, then the left. And, well, was there a toe in touch?
Oh, huge boot that. You've hit both uprights, and you've got to trudge way back, way back. Great clearing kick. Here it is again. It hits the top of the right hand, right at the top. And then extraordinarily goes straight across to hit the other one. But it is so right, almost on the point of the post. Who was it that made? Oh, it was Kmutsi who made the kick, the right winger. He's got a big boot on him.
8 wide.
And penalised there is Jose Luis Basile, pulling down the jumper. So the ball being thrown to Julian Dumitras, who is not of traditional fly half proportions. He's over 6 feet, and he's about 3 feet wide.
He's got a good boot on him because they're comfortably inside the 22. Now it becomes transferring what's on the training field to the match situation, because they would have rehearsed this. What do we do just inside their 22? Our throw in, catch and drive off the top. What are we looking at here, guys? So somebody, the captain's got to call it. Petra's got to call it. Wouldn't surprise when they go for a catch and drive. Yeah, to the front normally means they'll go catch and drive, which is what they're trying to do. Although the Jaguars have got a bit of a nudge on, so they're going to have to be patient here, Romania, to make any ground at all.
Well, I suspect that this game will be compulsory viewing for Martin Johnson and his squad, who are due to start a training camp, their provisional squad for the World Cup, and they will be taking on Romania in Dunedin on September the 24th.
Still doesn't go over this.
It doesn't matter how many times you watch it, but that doesn't happen that often, does it?
Not both. It's right at the top, almost on the point, isn't it? Anyway, another chance now for the Romanians to get something on the scoreboard. They've certainly, since they went 6-0 down, they've certainly been the more dominant of the two sides and played some decent rugby.
So approaching the half hour. I think she's just seen herself on the big screen. Argentina with that 6-point lead. The penalty from Iglesias. That stunning drop goal from Joaquin Tukele. Tukele, you've got to try against Portugal in the opening game, which they lost by just 4 points. And a powerful Romania scrummage, and they've won themselves the penalty. Well, in the psychological battle, which is and the physical battle, which is the scrummage, which is not a part of the game in which Argentina are used to being dominated.
Well, it's not often you see a team in that colour jersey go back at a rate of knots like they did there, is it?
And you mentioned Polika Ion, there he is in the middle of the screen. He's the tying head for Romania. Hard and powerful man, there he is. Started his career in England at Bath. Was then picked up by London Irish.
He's not starting a lot though, is he? He's not starting a lot though at the moment.
They've got some powerful
Oh yeah, they have, yeah.
Got Dermody on one side, Van Rautenbach, the beast from the northern Free State. Romeo Gontiac, 75 caps for Romania in his playing career. So Kalapatianu, this time nowhere near either the right or the left-hand upright, and Romania are on the scoreboard, 6 points to 3. Yes, we've seen Romeo Gontiac quite a bit over the course of this tournament. Somebody who is a vital cog in the Romanian wheel. Steve McDowell, former All Black, man with a great rugby history.
World Cup winner.
1987.
Yeah, indeed so.
Front row.
Yeah, he was running a gym in Auckland. That's what he did. He was a fitness trainer in those days. Been here a while now, though, or been helping Romania for a number of years now. So, pretty good pedigree.
Prop on the other side. Sadly now the late John Drake, who died a couple of years ago. Fella in the middle. Name's on the tip of my tongue.
Fitzpatrick.
Oh, yes. Amazing career he had. Winning the World Cup in 1987.
He wasn't first choice either, because the captain was Andy Dalton. He never played a game, tore a hamstring before the first game. Fitzy played all the games, should never have got a start. He was there to get the experience, should never have played a single minute, but that's another story. Right in here, on here for Argentina.
It's 2 against 1. The fullback involved, stepping off his wing there, Maro Comuzzi. This is good from Argentina. Once again, they're a side whose the platform is built on a big scrummaging pack traditionally. But we're seeing some good skills in the back line as well. Joaquin Tukale, the fullback, really is very highly regarded, having played in the World Junior Championship a couple of years ago. They're just 5 metres out here. And unfortunately, when you're in that zone, you can't afford errors like that. It's a knock-on. The referee decides no advantage has come, so it will be a scrummage Romania ball on the half hour.
I'd probably prefer to the advantage to have been played and had the line out midway own half, to be honest with you, because Argentina will be stung by that previous scrum where they got trampled all over by the Romanians, and they'll be up for this scrum. You would have thought, especially because that's their try line right behind. So I'm not sure that decision worked much in Romania's favour.
Yeah, scrummage, what, about 6 metres from their try line? There is Polika Ion on the tight head side with the headband. Bogdan Zibega is the hooker in place of the injured Marius Tinku. Cesar Popescu on the loose head side, up against them Gaston de Robertis, the Argentine on the loose head side there, the fellow who I mentioned his Leicester connection. He's also spent time at Biarritz, at Treviso, and also briefly in South Africa with Western Province. But a number of this team and the Argentina side have been playing for an Argentina, they call them the Pampas 15, down in the Vodacom Cup in South Africa, which is the development squad, and a real success in France. Martin Bustos-Mayano, the Montpellier left wing, has come out of that. Well, that really just proves the point you were making, doesn't it?
Yeah. Hasn't worked in their favour whatsoever. They could have been having initially it would have been an Argentinian throw to the line out, but it's a tough old call, that. Argentina being positive, not going for goal, which they could have easily done.
Iglesias just nudging it there into the corner, so we'll come back 5 metres for the line-out. There's the referee, Jerome Garces, who regularly gets to referee a semi-final in the French Championship. He's a regular also on the Heineken Cup circuit. They've gone to the middle of the line. And there's the ball, picked up by De Robertis. Now they'll look to produce it. Still keeping it fairly tight. 3 metres out. There it is for the scrum half, Landajo. Out to Iglesias, a little chip over the top, and the fullback is there. And Joaquin Tukale, well, it was clearly a rehearsed move, but the fullback just flew there. And when you don't have particularly deep in goal areas, that kick has to be pinpoint, doesn't it?
Absolutely right. Very small in goal areas here. We obviously knew that Vlaicu was going to come up into the line, so good weighted chip over the top, which Tukale obviously knew was going to happen, and got the yard ahead of the defence.
Well, he's had quite a day already, as Joaquin Tukale. Superbly struck drop goal from 45 metres, and now benefiting from that wonderfully weighted little chip there from Santiago Iglesias. So a try against Portugal. He's now got a try against Romania, and here is Iglesias attempting to make it a 7-point score. So the Jaguars, without a win, have now an 8-point lead. Can Iglesias make it 10? And indeed he can. So 13 points to 3, and we've got only about 6 minutes to go to half-time. This is the final match in the IRB Nations Cup in Bucharest. So just 2.5 minutes gone in the second half of this final game in the IRB Nations Cup. Argentina with that 10-point lead, looking for their first win of the competition. The Nations Cup, well, it's already been determined, that win earlier in the day for the Eastern Province Kings. 3 wins out of 3 for Alan Solomon's squad, and it's a penalty to Romania, but Romania, one of the sides of this competition, along with Namibia and Georgia, preparing for the World Cup, and that is what really is making this competition such an important part of their diary. So Jerome Garces will give a chance here.
Seeing they're 16-6 down, they're not in a mad rush, are they, to crack on with this kick a goal.
That looks like, I think it's Florian Fleck who stepped up from full-back. This one, I suppose you take into account the angle, something like 45 metres. Yes, he plays for Bucharesti, does Vlaicu. They've been drawn with Stade Francais, Worcester, Crociati from Italy in next season's Challenge Cup. Having a long, hard look. So this to narrow the gap to 7 points for Vlaicu. Oh, he just pushed it wide.
Well, he didn't look that interested from the start, to be perfectly honest with you, in terms of slotting that one over. I think he might have been a bit surprised that he was called up. He's not the first choice kicker, but he's the long distance kicker, or nominated long distance kicker, and you can see why, because distance was certainly not a problem, because that flew miles behind into the crowd.
And it's something we were talking about last night, Jamie, the flight of a rugby ball these days. Back in the old days, when you didn't have the kicking tees, kickers used to essentially stand it pretty much upright, didn't they? And it came in on a natural draw on the right foot. But now that kickers have started on the kicking tee to point the tip forward, the natural flight of the ball tends to be a little bit of a power fade, I guess the golfers would call it.
Yes, absolutely. It is not as it once was, and it's improved the standard no end. And I think obviously some of the distances now are huge.
We saw there, though, that the ball was not so much a power fade as a bit of a slice. There is Vlaicu. He was the man who kicked it into Jaguars territory. Maragia's coming through there, but Romania still in possession. There's the pick-up from Tonita. Tonita, so much will be expected of him at the World Cup. Oh, and Dumitras really had to reach down around his bootlaces, but a reasonably nimble-fingered fly-half would expect maybe to have gathered that. Oh, that's terrific work there from the scrum half, Landajo. Landajo feeds the ball out, and it's the full-back again, feeding the ball inside.
I'm not sure he's given it.
Well, he's blown his whistle, hasn't he? But they are congratulating one another. And Lisandro Lopez it was coming through, gathering the pass from Tukale. Good work again from the fullback Tukale, though, wasn't it?
Terrific, absolutely terrific. Scrum half made it. There was some pretty average tackling, it has to be said, by the Romanians and all of that, but that's not his fault. Good support play. And it was Lisandro Lopez who was in action very recently in the World 7 Series in both London at Twickenham and at Murrayfield at the end of last month. He was on hand to gather that inside pass from Tukale. This happened with the referee playing advantage for a knock-on by a Romanian player for a pass that was going pretty much in the breadbasket. And this has been a problem with the likes of Romania, Georgia and these sorts of sides. They just make too many self-enforced errors, and they often make errors successively. If you make 2 errors in a row, you get punished against the better teams. And it's just an area they've just got to cut out, because otherwise Dunedin will be miserable in the World Cup.
And it's a mantra, really, isn't it, that you are at your most vulnerable on turnover ball. You can see there that ball tipped forward. In fact, if anything, the tip pointing a good way right of the post. But he struck it nicely as Santiago Iglesias, and it's a 7-point score. And Argentina, well, consider this is, well, at the best, Argentina's second 15. And they are a semi-professional rugby playing nation. All the pros really play out of the country, the majority of them in France. And they are leading Romania, who are on their way to the World Cup. And also, don't forget, Romania playing at home. There is Iglesias. Kick. Picked up by the fullback, Vlaicu. That was Tonita. The Perpignan back row forward. Once again, Dumitras having to bend his back for it. That was out from Gal. Spreading the ball wide, but really the defence just shifting over and having no problem at all defending that. That is Daniel Carpo, who scored a try in the opening game against Namibia. Out to Popescu. Popescu being driven back by Maro Kumutsi. Well, the referee blew his whistle there, and he's judged that to be a knock-on.
Yeah, just a little knock-on as they were trying to clear that ball away. The Jaguars actually had men in numbers there. Popescu's gone down. Argentina on the far side is also receiving some treatment. He looks worried, and so he should be. His team haven't hit the heights tonight, that's for sure. And he's got a bit of thinking to do as Gontiniak in terms of how he arrests the slide. With full half hour to go yet, Argentina in a very handy lead.
That's Janita there, drinking from the bottle. And a couple of substitutions being made, among them the fly half going off there. Dumitras has been replaced.
Change the halfbacks.
So Florin Surigiu and Unit Demofta are on for Romania. It's Martin Landajo feeding, picked up at the base of the scrum there by Basile. There's the fullback, Tukale again. Landajo. Half an hour to go. The final game in this year's IRB Nations Cup. Landajo out. Looping around there is Iglesias, the fly half. Marages reached out the ball. Well, they're in possession here, are Argentina, but they are going backwards. We've got to admire the ambition here. Well, it's lost forward. Well, the referee says not. Must have come off a Romanian hand. Picked up by De Robertis. Landajo. Back to his fly half, Iglesias. The ball's loose again. It is an Argentina ball. Little pop-up pass there for Aranguren.
Okay, play number 9.
Well, the clock has stopped. Oh, there's a chance here, and that's Mirages. Mirages going, can he go all the way? He now needs to find the support, and it's turned over, and certainly the Argentines are playing it fast and loose. Here's Fercu. He's had a couple of opportunities to run with the ball tonight and looked impressive every time, but now it's been lost again. That's the fullback, Tukale. Well, the crowd are certainly getting value for money here. Both sides keen to throw the ball about. I'm not sure it's the sort of rugby that every coach enjoys.
I don't think it is at all. There's been lots of errors in there. The referees played a lot of advantage, it has to be said. And there was certainly a glorious chance for the Jaguars to extend their lead, but good defence by Fercu, and a counter-attack as it happened by Fercu as well.
Iglesias with the cross kick, and that's Kumutsi bearing down on it. Well, if the bounce had been more favourable, it could well have been in. That's Rosati recovering. That's to Lemnaru. Space now for Romania. That was a good step. Oh, he's straight through. Here's Lemnaru. Tukale is after him. The offload to Tonita.
Well, that's got the crowd going. What a great counter-attacking try. The Argentinians did not cover across at all, and Tonita made a mountain of ground to get there in support. An absolute mountain of ground. Extraordinary play by the open side flanker. But the gap down this left-hand side just opened up. There was no cover. You'll see once he escapes there. It's just wide open. There's just nobody within 30 metres of him. Steps inside, beats 2 or 3. But you can see Tanita's a good 10 metres behind, 12 metres behind, and you can see he overtakes the other Argentinian player trying to get back and goes under the sticks. Great effort.
Not only is he mobile, he stands well over 6 feet tall. He's in excess of 100 kilos. You can see there just how far behind he is, can't you? He's got to make up that ground. The ball was held up well. That was intelligent play from Romania. And Tanita, a sharp left turn and between the posts. And the conversion is added, and Romania are back into the contest.
Good to see them finishing off a move like that. Really good to see.
Yes, the conversion added. Here it is by Florin Vlaicu, the fullback.
It was pretty much against the run of play. Certainly, territorially, Argentina have been the dominant side. There are only 10 points in it. A little chip restart hasn't worked for the Jaguars, so Romania have got a chance to build again if they can keep some control.
Well, the coaching team, the Argentines, one of whom is Emilio Bergamaschi, who's a former prop who played Test rugby. He will be mindful that his squad don't start playing too loose. They really have got this game won, or should have. That's taken on by Basile, the number 8. Back from the scrum half, Landajo. Here's Iglesias again. The little grubber through. He's after it himself. That's good covering from Romania. This fella Iglesias, he's got a bit of speed there. He's got a decent boot.
Yeah, lively. Bit of vision too. The little grubber through. Knew he couldn't get all the way through.
They've got 1 or 2 fly half problems looking towards the World Cup. Have Argentina. El Maggio. Juan Martin Hernandez picked up that serious knee injury playing in the top 14 for Racing Metro. That was back in March. He's had surgery.
On the back. Open, please.
Felipe Contepomi, who, well, he's been playing most of his rugby either on the centre or from the bench for too long. He'll be a Stade Francais player next season, so there is perhaps an opportunity there for an able 10. Looking forward to the World Cup for Argentina. And the clock back running again. Another chance perhaps for Romania if they look wide. There are plenty of yellow jerseys. Referee says the advantage is over. Oh, and the bounce worked very well there for Casaba Gal. Penalty though to Argentina. Gal failing to release the ball in the tackle. Well, Romania will be mindful that there may not be a wooden spoon to collect in this tournament. That looks to be destined for Portugal. The EP Kings have already won this year's Nations Cup with 3 wins out of 3. They are the only team here who've won all 3 games. But whoever wins here has a fair chance of moving up certainly into 3rd place. Sharon Garces speaking both English and French there, just ensuring that the gap between the 2 sets of jumpers is the prescribed distance. Back from the replacement scrum half, that was Serugiu. Good long pass, here's a chance, fed inside there by Gal. That's the fullback, Vlaicu, up towards halfway. Back from Serugiu.
No hands, no hands! Here.
The scrum half just getting caught, but it is a Romania ball.
Back feet.
And you can see Mihai Lazar, the replacement prop. Oh, and there was just a foot in touch. So it will be a line out and an Argentina ball.
But it's good to see Romania playing more expansively. They know they can make a few inroads into this Argentinian defence. They are trying to test them as much as possible, but easily covered on that occasion.
No, numbers.
Yes, you know, Kazan finding himself being shepherded into touch. There's the hooker, Mauricio Guidoni. Tarangaren at the front for Argentina, and he receives the ball. A rehearsed move, that, but not perfectly executed.
Yes, these 50-50 balls out of the tackle that often go right. Got to be absolutely sure you can retain possession of the ball. Keep having respect for the ball. Don't give it away easily. The less time they have it, the less chance they've got to score.
So Romania preparing to make more changes.
And they're not backs by the look of it.
Yes, they've already made one change in the front row with Miguel Lazare, who plays his club rugby in the second flight of French rugby for Aix-en-Provence. There he is at loose head. I've still got Polika Ion, the London Irish prop, on the tight head side. That was taken forward by Kasaba Gal. There it is for the scrum half. Romania being urged to play the ball. Valentin Ursaci. There's the scrum half again, Surugiu. Just into Argentina territory.
Push, push.
Taken forward that time by Lazare. There it is for Surugiu again.
No hands, no hands.
Well, the ball going through the hands very quickly here. That was Faircou coming off the left wing.
He's lively, Faircou, isn't he? He's got a good turn of pace on him. There's no forwards there, is there? Look, there's so many. Oh, here we go. Football match is on here.
Hacked forward by Tukale, and Tukale has gathered it, and he's got time. And there was a little dummy, and there's the try. Well, I think that might be interesting to take another look at, but I felt sure that there was at least one Argentine in front of the ball when that ball was being kicked. But the referees awarded it.
Well, you've got to feel a bit sorry for them. Absolutely distraught they are, because they'd made all the play in the last 5 or 10 minutes. It's not a fair contest. Certainly Tukale against Carpo, the Romanian number 8. You're not going to get a chance to see whether who's in front or not, Martin, I'm afraid. But they certainly took their chance well. Tanita's now struggling, the most experienced forward.
Well, he's not had a bad day, has he? Joaquin Tukale. The Midas touch with the left foot, the drop goal from 45 metres, and now a second try to go with the try which he scored in the opening game against Portugal. So 3 tries in the tournament.
Joaquin Tukale try. The score is now Argentina Jaguars 28, Romania 13.
So 28.
I do like it that they announce the score before the conversion. It's not often you get that.
And I might be wrong, but it actually sounds like a South African accent. So here he is, Santiago Iglesias. He's had a good day so far. Created the first try for Tukale with a little chip ahead. And now with Tukale's second try, can he make it a 7-point score right from this touchline? Another wonderful strike. The flags are raised, and Argentina really are stretching their legs.
Well, they've taken their chances, certainly Argentina. Romania will be absolutely gutted by that, especially the manner in which it happened. They just didn't commit enough players to that ruck situation, and there were huge holes in behind, and the coup de grace, Iglesias has kicked one from the touchline.
2,786 hours of sunshine per year, 1,244 islands, 576 fish species, 130 native grape varieties, 14 UNESCO heritage sites, and treasures of tradition. Simply too much for a 30-second commercial, just enough for a perfect holiday. Croatia, the Mediterranean as it once was.
Wednesday night. Football, soccer, call it what you like. It's the same great game all around the globe. And in America's Gold Cup, it has its own local spice. 12 teams from Canada to Panama, including big guns Mexico and the USA, play the beautiful game to conquer all. Gold Cup football semi-finals, Wednesday night, live on Eurosport 2.
Well, the IRB Nations Cup is already decided. The South African, or the Eastern Province Kings, having won 3 wins out of 3, winning on the final day, beating Portugal impressively. So it's been a successful tour for Luke Watson and Alan Solomons, although Watson had to miss the final match because of sickness, which he picked up the night before the game. And can now the Argentina Jaguars finish off with a victory after 2 narrow defeats? It's looking like another disappointing performance from Romania. So let's be honest, in terms of the quality of their rugby over the last 10-15 years, it's has been a steady decline, really, hasn't it?
Without question. Yeah, no, they have not grown. I don't know what, but the numbers are like. I don't know if more people in Romania, more men are playing rugby in Romania, but they certainly have an advantage. But forward-wise, they could compete okay-ish. But it's the confidence and the basic ability in the backs with the handling skills and the decision-making, what to do when, that is the problem. And they need a max exodus into France and the UK to get that necessary experience that they can bring back to their international colleagues and pass on. That's the best way to do it.
So, inside the last 5 minutes of this final game, Argentina have brought on their replacement scrum half, Santiago Mendes. 30 points to 13. Can Romania finish with a flourish here? Turnover ball. They've got a numerical advantage fed out there by Nicolai, but the defence is good. And so often the Argentina defence has been able to drift over, hasn't it? And the Romania player been penalised, holding the ball in the tackle. And poor old Romeo Continiac watching it through the gaps in his fingers there, wasn't he?
Okay, okay, calm down.
That's Unit Demofta being told to calm down by Jerome Garces.
Positive play by Argentina, not interested in another 3 points, nor should they be. This is exactly what they should do, kick it in the corner.
That's Benjamin Madero, the replacement fly half. Santiago Iglesias has given way after a fine kicking performance, and also he's really been pulling the strings at fly half as well. Ball fed back, and there is Madero, and there are plenty of Argentine numbers out this side looking for the ball. It's been a good final day performance by Argentina, and it's Romania under pressure again, and they've got 3 against 2. Coming through there was Mendes, just held up on the line, thrown wide by Madero, and Tukale, his hat-trick, a glorious performance from the fullback. What a night he's had. Just 2 minutes before the end, he's picked up a hat-trick.
Well, they managed to hold them off for a little while, Furku made a brilliant tackle on the Romanian try line, absolutely brilliant, but quick ball, and Tukile's comfortably in before the cover can get across. Easy, really. And he has had a night to remember in Bucharest, hasn't he?
And look at that scoreboard as well. 35 points to 13. It is going to be a resounding victory for the side who are effectively Argentina A against Romania, who are one or two bodies short, but this will be the nucleus of the squad that they send off to New Zealand. Romania in the same pool as England, Argentina, Georgia and Scotland. They take on the Scots in the opening game on September the 10th in Invercargill. That'll be a bit like a home game for the Scots. And Benjamin Madero from out wide makes it 37 points to 13. Argentina have got to win. Jamie, well, we've had 3 rounds of games. The SA Kings have been the stars, but your reflection on the 3 rounds.
Well, they've done pretty well, to be fair, and Argentina have thoroughly deserved their victory tonight. 21-7, they won the second half. The disconsolate Romanian coach walked onto the field. He won't be very happy at all, but Romania made far too many mistakes. That's what they've got to eradicate.
So 37 points to 13. The Argentina Jaguars beat Romania. Let's concentrate for a moment on the final standings. The EP Kings, the team led by Luke Watson and their coach Alan Solomons, have won the Nations Cup. 13 points from their 3 matches. Georgia was second, 2 wins out of 3, 8 points for them. And then 1 win each for the Jaguars, Namibia, Romania and Portugal. Well, there it is. Certainly Romania. A lot of work to do ahead of the World Cup. From Jamie Salmon and myself, Martin Gillingham.